Even if you're not the biggest DAF fan, one huge improvement is that all the mirror cams in all the other truck mods now work perfectly well. Let's go and check it out. Hey guys, Clumsy here. Welcome back to ETS2. The DAF XG release was a very big event, very fortunate one. Not everyone was a fan, but I personally like it. But I was curious how it affected the other trucks with the mirror cams, especially this one. The Actros 5, the new Actros, has fancy mirror cams and everything. I had a big issue with it before though, that I think they call it stalling. The mirror cams froze at certain angles. But now that seems to be fixed, so we'll be checking it out for a test drive today. And I'm happy to report that we are back with RoEx. RoEx 3.0 is here for those PPM members. For those who have the, permanent premium membership or something along those lines. Anyway, RoEx 3.0 adds a lot of areas and recreates a lot of areas in Turkey specifically. So this is where we'll be focusing in the next few episodes as we explore this map. And yes, the Turkey Lite, I think the Turkey Project Lite has been integrated now with RoEx. So it is now even much bigger. Romania, Ukraine, Moldova, and now Turkey as well. So one of the new changes is this specific strip right here, is this entire area. So let's go and check it out, right? Let's go and go for a test drive. Very nice startup animation as always. Max's OM470 sounds at work. Here we go. Yes, that is very distinctive. So these are the same set of sounds that we use in our Let's Play series with Joffrey the Giraffe, if you guys remember him. Right, let's get it going and let's test out these mirror cams, how they work. Immediately there we see that they are indeed fixed. Now if you don't know what I'm talking about, then stay a while and listen. For those who got that reference, man, you guys are old. Old like me. Let's let that guy pass and I'll tell you a story. So if you remember, if you've been in the channel for quite some time, you will know that I featured the Actros 5, this truck, recently, maybe a couple of weeks ago. But you probably noticed that, oh, there's a lot of traffic in here, huh? Oh, and there are crossing people as well. Very interesting. And yes, that one is very distinctive of RoEx works. Very realistic, very, how do you say, organic? And very natural looking. People crossing and just feeling lived in. So nice to be back here. Anyway, I have a lot of stories to tell. Let's start with the truck. So you might have remembered that I've driven this truck before recently when it got updated to 1.6.1 and it's now 1.6.5 with most of the fixes in place. But you might have noticed that in that video I was not using mirror cams at all, and it's because I am not a big fan of the mirror cams themselves because they're a bit strange. But that's how it usually is when it comes to technology, right? People resist change by default. Let's make sure that we're turning the right way here. Okay, 1 second. What is this? Very interesting junction. But that's not the biggest reason. I mean, right now I'm using mirror cams. I like them because they are practical, they are functional. They have great visibility even when it's raining, even when visibility is poor outside and stuff like that. But the main reason why I was avoiding them in this game was because there was a bug. Back then, when the mirror cams were first implemented, only the mods had it. Yeah, only custom mods, unofficial mods had it. And because of that, they were limited by what the game has to offer. And one of the biggest gripes I have, actually the biggest gripe I had, that's why I was avoiding mirror cams at all costs before, was what they call the stalling, the freezing of the mirror cams. When you look at a certain angle like this maybe, or like that, you would notice that the mirror cams would not be moving at all. They were literally frozen. Oh, this looks great. Bridge shot. I think we have our thumbnail. 90 kilometers per hour here, the cruise control there. So if you look at a certain angle, like for example, right where the side mirror is on the edge of your screen, there were problems before that the mirror cam would freeze. And that is just how the game works. Because when you're not looking at a mirror, for example like this, the mirror on the right side is not visible, right? The game stops rendering it to save up on frame rate, to save up on performance. Because if you're not seeing it anyway, why render it, right? It's a waste of precious resources on the PC. So the idea is it would only render, it would only update when the mirrors are actually visible from the user's point of view. The problem was with the default, those mirrors, those ranges, you know, there is a certain point when it says, okay, mirrors are not visible anymore, stop rendering. Yeah. But that range, that point where it says stop rendering, was off before because it was built in mind where the conventional mirrors were, like on the outer edge of the trucks, right? With the advent of these mirror cams, they are now in the inside of the truck, so the angles changed. So it makes sense that those stopping points, right, those rendering points would also change. And because that could only be controlled by default SCS, by SCS themselves, I don't think that was configurable in a mod. The mods previously had that limitation that when you looked at a certain angle, the mirror cams would freeze. Man, this looks great here. Very different scenery here in Turkey, huh? I like it. Awesome change of pace. Lots of vegetation as well. Feels like spring actually. Quite nice. I guess the climate here is a lot different as well. A lot warmer maybe compared to other parts in Europe, especially in the northern parts. Anyway, so as I was going through the SES forums, I was reading through the Remoled mod by Solutech, and that is for the next gen Scania. I remember that mod has mirror cams of its own, and he was reporting, and other people were reporting, that he didn't really fix anything, he didn't really change anything, but now the mirror cams work perfectly. And that's most likely because SCS changed the parameters when the mirror cams, when the mirrors should stop rendering. They made it compatible for mirror cams because they implemented their own, basically. 1 second, am I supposed to go here? Sinop. Yeah, it looks like it. So we're going from Samson to Kastamonu, or however you pronounce it. Yeah, looks like this is where we're going. Oh, this is a very interesting city. Arayas has been learning so much from his mapping, from all the versions through the years. How he builds cities now. And I think it's not only Arayas anymore that's building them. This might not actually be Arayas' work himself. You might have to correct me in the comments there, but if I remember correctly, there is another guy now. Or am I mixing stuff? Anyway, you guys let me know. As a whole though, this is Arayas' work. So let's stick with Arayas in there. No, you know what? Let's stick with the RoEx team. That might be more proper. And then you guys who have more info will for sure correct me and give some more context. So yeah, the RoEx team has been learning more and more through the years. and you can actually see it in the older works. It's not as realistic yet. It's a bit like you can feel the trees are placed not so naturally, but through the different updates you constantly see the evolution. And I took the wrong exit there, my bad. So thankfully there's a roundabout here where we can easily move and adjust. And yes, they've been learning, and the past couple of releases have been amazing. I'm really sorry that I have not been featuring it as much, because this is great work and I've been in pro mods for most of the time. But let me defend myself. Pro mods is amazing and everything, but time and time again we want a bit of a change, right? We want a bit more like different flavor, you know? We want to mix it up. And other map makers are amazing as well, and they focus on different parts of the world, so it's nice to mix them up like so. And RoEx has proven to have very high quality maps, very stable, very optimized, especially with the recent versions. So they've definitely built up trust from my end. But I was not using other map mods before. I stuck with pro mods mainly because I was trying to isolate the stuttering problems that I was getting. And there have been a lot of theories, no conclusive finding. You might have noticed we still stutter from time to time there, but it's not as intense anymore. I think it's not really the map mods problem for the most part. But yeah, as a result, I have been very conservative with trying out maps. I know there are so many cool maps out there that we can try. Road to Asia, we have Rust map, Southern Region, and all the other maps out there that expand more to the east. I'm a bit more not as I'm a bit more conservative when it comes to that, because adding mods, as you guys might know, complicates things. And more mods, more chances of stuttering, more chances of instability. So I try to really control which maps I have, because map mods are a very major part of the game, and they can literally make or break your game, your profile. Can literally crash your profile if the load order is wrong, if there is a bug that was not found before, and things like that. But yes, I have really been missing the RoEx areas, and I was happy to hear that RoEx 3.0 has been released recently, and I'm happy to be back on these roads. If I will be happy in a few minutes, we will see, but yeah, because it looks like there are some very challenging routes. But for the most part, my goodness, very nice views. So yes, I like mixing it up. It's not only pro mods that's in the game. Pro mods are great people, definitely must have, but there are so many other map makers out there as well who do great jobs and don't get as big as a publicity. And the RoEx folks are definitely one of them. Now, they do have their philosophical differences. If you guys remember, there's been quite a bit of drama about those points. That's why sometimes you won't see maps being referred to in depending on the site you look. Like for example, if you look in the Pro Mods forums, the mention of RoEx there will be minimal, if anything. I don't think they're even included in the recommended load order from Pro Mods, because there are some philosophical differences, some let's agree to disagree kind of thing. They're not the best of friends, but that's just the way it is. You don't get to be all happy with everyone. Sometimes you have disagreements, and sometimes those are irreconcilable. That doesn't mean that the end users have to suffer though. I mean, they all do great work. They just have philosophical differences. But why stop that from experiencing the best of both worlds, right? So here we are, trying them both out. So right now in this profile, I have Pro Mods and RoEx enabled. I don't have Rust map, I don't have southern region, because as I mentioned, I'm trying to really be conservative when it comes to which map mods I'm using, which ones I'm adding. So let's stick to RoEx. Let's enjoy RoEx areas. And when we have discovered it and enjoyed it as much as we want, then we can explore other areas again. But for now, plenty of things to enjoy here. Yeah, look at the mapping here. And that's what I don't like. There are some people who are very, how do you say, opinionated? No, not really opinionated, because that can be a good thing. Passionate about one side or the other, to the point that they are becoming a bit too biased, you know? Like, there have been several instances that we've seen. For example, someone from the Pro Mod side of things who is a Pro Mods fan, either if he's a developer or not, but he really likes Pro Mods, to the point that anything else that's done by other people are trash to him. Like, he would always find a fault, you know, like, not done well, that looks crappy, he didn't do this, he didn't do that. Like, even if that work was, 95% great, he would only focus on the 5% that's missing, you know, and vice versa, I'm sure, exist. Those on the RoEx side who are really passionate about that will find so many wrong things with Pro Mods. And that's what I hate, you know, that doesn't contribute to a healthy community. That's a bit too... I don't like that kind of approach. Can we not just enjoy it for what it is? And I don't know, not my cup of tea at all. So it really ticks me off. Even in Discord we get that, in my own Discord server. Whenever I, for example, enjoy a certain part of the map and then I share a screenshot, yeah, there would be those kind of people who would complain about the missing things, the wrong things. And it's not really constructive in a way. It's just like nitpicking, you know. You get the feeling that they're just like putting everything else down because they feel like their own is the best, their side is the best, something like that. Not a big fan of that kind of behavior. So let's try to minimize that here, okay? I mean, constructive criticism is good, but it's a very slippery slope. You always have to ask yourself, am I really doing constructive criticism here, or am I just nitpicking? Am I being biased towards one side or the other? What I know is everything we've been driving on through today in this trip, I have been enjoying immensely off the coast here. Is that the Black Sea? I would guess so, but you guys correct me if I got it wrong, as always. And yeah, it's just sad to see that kind of thing, you know? People taking sides and getting so absorbed into their side that they're not willing to appreciate anymore the other side. It's not a healthy environment to survive in, so let's not cultivate that, right? Even if we cannot achieve world peace, let's at least try to, at least in our community, this community, the Clumsy community, let's keep that healthy attitude of appreciating all the works despite or regardless who they came from. Let's not stick to sides here. Let's make it, how do you say, the Switzerland of things? Maybe that can be a thing. Yeah. Very nice. Very different vibe for sure. Very different way of mapping as well. And although we do have some pop-in problems there from the textures and whatnot, yeah, you can see the cliffs kind of deforming at some point. But overall, I am enjoying the views. The scenic tour. Although with all these bends, we are driving pretty slow. Quite nice. Just, oh, look at this. That's a bit of local flavor. Like the house owners are have literally set up shop outside their house, selling some fruits to passers-by. So you can just literally stop on the side of the road, buy some fruits, and be on your way. That sounds very local. And I can definitely relate to that. In the Philippines, where I'm originally from, we have a lot of those. That's one of the things we look forward to when we are traveling somewhere farther. Like when we're going on a road trip, you have those local sellers on the side of the road selling their fruits, their local delicacies and whatnot. That's one of the things I really look forward to. Something you can take home and give back to your friends and enjoy with the rest of the family. Even after you've come back from the trip. Oh, that's a very tricky junction. No signs and whatnot. You have to be a bit more vigilant here when it comes to the signs, the roads. Signs might not be as well placed as in versus other areas in the map versus actual like highways and whatnot. Although we do have chevrons and everything, so maybe it's not that bad. The road markings seem to be pretty good. Maybe I just have to get used to the road network as a whole in a way. But yes, mirror cams working great so far. No, I have not seen a single freeze in the mirror cams themselves. We've had quite a few stutters, but that's something that's been a constant problem, especially when you're hauling with an own trailer. It looks so good. So not a problem there. Where are we now? I have no idea how to read that. There's also a sign saying something like there's a chariot in front of you. I don't know what that means. Pretty interesting looking town here. Looks like a very tourist oriented town. Lots of shops and places where you can just hang out and look over the coast there. Beautiful. Maybe some ports as well for ferry trips and whatnot. Quite nice. Not the biggest fan of these tiles though. They look a bit too... The floor... Oh crap. Missed my turn. There might be... Hopefully the police officer won't see us do this fancy maneuver. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Trailer damage. Nothing happened, guys. What did I hit? I'm not sure. But the police officer didn't seem to mind. And now we've gotten a red signal. Because there was a traffic light right there. Which was a bit... I was trying to stop before the line, but apparently the traffic light was a bit more restrictive. Okay. Fine. It is what it is. You have to be a bit more careful. There we go. One of those infamous stutters. Yeah, I still haven't been able to get rid of them fully. Especially not in own trailers. In freight markets, I don't think they exist anymore, or they hardly exist at least. But with own trailers, they're still there. I think it's just the side effect of the default game when you have map mods and whatnot. So that happens even with pro mods. Yeah, this map has been quite a nice, refreshing change of pace. I've been driving offline again. I haven't driven offline for quite some time. I've been pretty entrenched in flight sim, as you guys might have seen. It's unfortunate that the flight sim vids have not been as well received in the channel, because I would have loved to do more of them, but that's not going to stop me. But then, yes, I really enjoy trucking still, so I enjoy both. So I'm mixing them up as much as I can. And yesterday I was driving offline, checking out RoEx again, and I started off in Kiev, part of RoEx map. In Kiev, looks amazing. That was one of the case in point things that I remember. I was so happy with the city. It looks so good. And when I posted that photo, I remember someone, can't exactly remember who it was. Maybe I have an idea, but let's not get into names. Let's get into the general behavior of things and try to avoid that in the future. It looked great, and someone just nitpicked it. Like, oh, this corner of the map is does not have the right textures. This edge of the cliff is a bit torn off. Yes, you get the picture, something along those lines. I really hate that behavior. It is not only about RoEx, it's other map mods as well. I remember seeing things when it comes to Pomezania. What the heck is this? Oh, that's something you don't see in other map mods. Ah, there is an alternate road. Very tricky. Interesting. I like it. Looks like I missed the memo because everyone else is going that way, and no, I will not try to jump through there. Let's reverse here properly. Let's make use of these mirror cams. Staying too much on the side. Let's fix this. Can I maybe speed up and jump that through? No. My goodness. Yeah, it looks like there's a small bridge there. Oh my goodness. This might be a nice photo actually, huh? I'll take it. Now that's a bridge shot. A fallen bridge shot, that is. First time I've encountered that, and even the GPS itself is not aware of that mishap. It doesn't have that custom bridge in its view. Very interesting, I like it. Now that's exactly what I'm looking for when I say looking for a change of pace, a twist. Cut off bridges with no indication whatsoever is definitely one of those. We do have an indication. We do have a single chevron telling you to move to the left. The bridge itself is not blocked though. It's like they were hoping for some people to miss the sign and get some news out of it. Very interesting stuff. Okay. Oh my goodness, look at the GPS, we're completely deviating. Now I'm not sure whether to take that shot or this shot as the thumbnail, but yeah, I'm sure either way it's going to be one of these. Oh my goodness, hardcore. I'm happy I chose this route. Yeah, because I haven't driven through here before. Oh, there it is. Can we see the cutoff bridge from here? Maybe that will be a nice shot. Yeah, there it is. Look at that. Yeah. Maybe I can take a photo from here later. Show both bridges, right? Why not? Yeah, that way. This looks great. I'll try and take a photo here later. How far away are we from the destination? 71 kilometers. Now that seems pretty short, but given these kinds of roads and suddenly cutting off, literally cutting off bridges, cutting off roads, not so sure if that really is as short as I imagine. Hey, we're back. Yeah, some very windy and level changey roads in here. But we're back. We're back on the main road. Thankfully, I was not busy enough, not too busy to notice that something looked a bit weird with that bridge. Oh my goodness. Alright. 80 speed limit on this road. Not sure I agree. How about you, Mr. Iveco Stralis? I think he was happily just trudging along. Giving the air seats suspension a real challenge in here. We can hear them all over the place. Grip suspension. Kind of a middle point between dirt road and cemented road. Is this going to change anytime soon? Probably not. Yeah, it's going to be shaky all over, guys. The rest of the 70 miles remaining. Oh yeah, wanted excitement? You get excitement. Oh, and to be clear, yeah, in case I wasn't clear enough a while ago, RoEx 3.0 is a paid map. There is a free version, RoEx 2.7, but I don't think it includes these areas. Oftentimes that's how the model of this RoEx thing works, right? Like, you have a free map, a free version, but if you want kind of like early access to the new areas, then you can get into the paid version. And this RoEx 3.0 is this area specifically is a RoEx 3.0 version. This looks very interesting. I think this is supposedly a roundabout, but people don't seem to be slowing down on the roundabout. Pretty interesting road network. Yeah, definitely a lot less. How do you open the lights here? 1 second. Is it that one? Yeah, I think that's that one. The low beams. Yeah, definitely a different environment from the ones we got used to, huh? Times it now, 5:45. Whoa. That's pretty good. Pretty cool. I like it. Here we go again. Kind of reminds me why I enjoy driving through Rust Map before, because you have all those exotic roads. For those people who are fed up with highways, this might be your cup of tea. So thank you guys for reminding me that it's not only a world of pro mods out there. I realized that during our last stream. So we were enjoying pro mods a lot, but yeah, we were filled with highways, and coming from Iberia DLC, everything was highways and everything was built on bridges and overlapping roads and whatnot, infrastructure. And sometimes it's nice to mix it up a little and just get a bit more flavor of the local flavor, you know. Kastamonu, here we are. Yeah, looks like a nice small town, this place. But yeah, all the small things, right? People biking on the side of the road, yeah, bridges, for the highway overlapping in there. It just looks quite real. And you have people on the sides, on the corners, just hanging out. You have all these houses. Proper residential area. Quite nice. I like it. I like the local flavor of it. Now if it's accurate to real life, who knows? Probably not a lot of people in here who would be familiar with this place. So not really the biggest point. But maybe it is even accurate to real life, who knows? If anyone is from Turkey, if anyone has been here before, let me know. I'd be happy to hear about it. But I mean, even if this was a fictional place, I really enjoyed that trip. Gave us quite a scare in there, but we made it. Almost. Last stretch. Let's make the most of this mirror cam. Good. One thing that's a bit more bugged from what I see, the front mirror is still too dark. That's a common problem since 140. All the truck mods had to be updated for that. And I think here they missed some mirrors. But thankfully the main mirror cams are good and everything, so not really a big problem there. Let's make that a bit sharper. I'm just not sure if this mirror cam has that same exposure or how do you say, exposure fix? Exposure feature from the DAF. The DAF, the official mirror cams done by SCS for the DAF XG, they actually adjust the exposure. So at night, it's a lot brighter. And in daytime, it's a bit dimmer, so it's not as hurtful to the eyes, basically. Why is it so hard to reverse for me? There you go. That's the one. That didn't work. Let's make it proper. So many times reversing. Everything looks good, but maybe I'm just not used to the mirror cams. But yeah, I've gotten quite a number of comments in the last video where we were driving the DAF XG with the mirror cams and everything, saying they hate it. And that's a very normal, very common sentiment. Even in actual truck drivers, that's a common sentiment in all aspects of life. It is the normal tendency to resist any kind of major change in the status quo. And it might be that the mirror cams are better, maybe they're not, but either way, we will meet some resistance in its application. If that is warranted or not, we will see in the future, in the coming years. But yes, it's normal that we see such kinds of behaviors. But all I'm asking is, let's give it a chance, right? Especially in a game like this. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoy that drive. Catch you in the next one. Looking forward to your comments and Clumsy Trucking. See you in a bit. Bye-bye.